Attorney Lenore. I need your help because I'm having a tough time with my wife. She never listens to me or does anything I ask. When I say, let's go left, she says, I'd rather go right. After 21 years of marriage, it's really hard to keep going with someone who is so difficult. I think we might need to get a divorce. What should I do next? Sincerely, she's too much work.
Wow. Well, it
Wow. Yeah.
sounds like they haven't done their work. Um, and sounds like they, trigger certain things in one another that they may not even realize. 21 years of marriage is a long time. It's a lot invested in one another. And I think with this couple, I would suggest counseling, even possibly discernment counseling. And I think that's something that, Natalie, you must see every day. Are people like this coming to you? And how would you handle this? What advice would you give these people?
Yeah, my first thoughts are I think it can be very challenging when we're trying to influence our partner and like this person saying, I say left, they go right. Like how if you're not open to hearing that left is good,
Mhm.
what chance do we have at really a good dialogue, a good communication, right? How can I effectively influence you? And I think that when that happens over a long period of time, because good having effective influence and being open to influence is such an important part of a relationship for it to be able to function effectively. That happens over long periods of time. That partner can feel really helpless, right? Like I can't reach you. You're not accessible to me. If I need something from you or if I want to be able to influence you. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. You mentioned discernment counseling, and I think that's probably something that we'll talk about through this process because a lot of times between marriage counseling and mediation or litigation or whatever, there is this discernment counseling process, which is really important to figure out if we can stay in this relationship. Can we be in this relationship? And yeah, discerning whether or not to stay or go. It's really hard to be in a relationship where we're not, and do marriage counseling, we're not committed and motivated to the process. But with that being said, going back to this idea that it's so much work, I mean, relationships are work every day. It's work, it's sacrifice, it's work. And we'd be kidding ourselves if we thought, it's not, whether it's 21 years or 1 year, it's work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what, Natalie, I was thinking about listening to your answer, and I couldn't help but hear voices in my head. And typically I do hear these voices in my head when we have these conversations that, he's probably saying, she stopped making me happy. And she's probably saying, he stopped making me happy. And I think that's part of the problem, the dependence that your partner's job is to make you happy. And the time that they stop making you happy, there is a problem. And I think that's when the work begins or should begin. What do you think?
Well, I was thinking about that too. What am I bringing to the table? Right. I'm so focused on what you're not bringing. Am I
Mm,
am I bringing something? What am I bringing, good or bad? Right. What am I bringing to the relationship? And also, are you curious to know why she's always going right?
mm,
Their curiosity, like, why is it when I say left, you always go right? Explain that to me. What is it about? What's the resistance? Tell me more about
mhm,
that. How can I get to
mhm,
know you at this stage in our life after 21 years? Because I'm sure 21 years has brought many challenges. And also, I'm sure great things. But I want to get to know you after 21 years. I want to be curious and
mm,
understand why this is happening to us and why this is happening to you, because it's super frustrating for me and I'm able to voice this. I'm super frustrated by this, but I'm not maybe bridging the gap enough to be able to understand what you're experiencing that's
mm.
making you feel this
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. You have to be open and willing and wanting to be curious. I love that. Except
Yeah.
for when I'm no longer curious about you. Uh,
That happens after about the first 2 years.
ah,
When we meet someone, I mean, I remember I've been with my husband for 21 years, 22 years. So I remember falling
mm,
asleep on the phone, like, how many kids do you
yeah.
have? Right? And then after about 2 years, you're like, well, I asked you all the questions, so I guess I don't have to ask you anything else, right? You're good, right? I don't know, I don't need to know anything. But the reality is we are constantly changing and experiencing and growing and adapting and assimilating. And if we don't take the time to learn and be curious and see our relationship and even each other as with a sense of wonder,
Yeah.
We kind of get lost in all of it.
Yeah, sounds good.